We really got to cut that down some point. It's so long.
At some point. It is. That's what she said.
Hey, what's up? You have now tuned into the Black Woman Podcast. Thank you for pulling up. I am Chatty Patty, aka Madam Straw Hat, aka the Celestial Freaking Dragon, and I have with me.
Hello, all. I'm gonna keep it short today. I'm Sleepy Bree. End of story.
What's up, guys? This is Sexual Chocolate, and in the words of Chatty Patty, I'd like to welcome you all to the sweat weather. Enjoy.
This definitely
80-something degrees today. I was boiling.
But we have a special episode that is near and dear to my heart. Bree actually brought it up. That gave us the idea.
Nah, you said my cousin did.
Was it? Yeah, it was Bree's cousin, Chris.
Yep.
Shout out to Chris. Thank you for being on our last episode. He was so fun. He was so cool. If you guys haven't met Chris, you can meet Chris in our latest episode, Doctor Strange in Multiverse of Isekai. So, so definitely check that out on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. So I was wondering, when it comes to early 2000s, early 90s anime, will it be able to test the times, or was it just nostalgia that makes the title so good? So that led us to actually sit down and write down some titles that we had goosebumps for back in the day, and to see with all the top quality studios and what they're doing, could they revive it, and would it be good, or it was just good for what it was worth at that time?
I feel like this is a good kind of thing to look at, because all the time you see in almost a gatekeeping way, people saying, "Oh, they don't make anime like they used to." Mm-hmm. Back in our day, we were watching this, that, and the other thing. Now y'all got all this. So I sit down and think, is that stuff we were watching back then actually as good as we're thinking it is? Because right now, in my head, everything I ever watched before 2010 was a banger. It was a hit. It was glorious.
Absolute quality.
But yeah, absolute peak quality. And I know there have been times when I've gone back to watch an episode or two and I'm like, oh
no,
this is kind of doo-doo. How much of this did I watch? I watched all of it. Ooh. So I don't know, like, don't you have those series that were just so beautified in your mind that 10, 15 years later you could have sworn they were amazing?
Look, in our heads, desperation is... We were desperate for more anime, and not only that, like, I know one of the things that really brought me back to understanding this was not even anime. It was like, if you ever played any, I know for me, it was Ocarina of Time. I went back once and replayed it on like an N64, and my brain was like, no, this was the absolute most amazing thing that my eyes had ever seen. So obviously, you know, I'm going to turn it back on. It's still going to look pretty great. No. Oh God, the angles, so many angles, so many sharp. Anyway, that's besides the point, but it is the point. Your mind is playing tricks on you on how well you remember a lot of this stuff, but some of this stuff turns out pretty good. So in our conversation, you know, we thought we came up with some titles, a bunch of titles. Like in our conversation, we came up with the fact that some shows would probably do better now. Some shows would definitely do worse now and were absolutely terrible back then. And some have withstood the test of time. And that's what we're kind of going to get into.
So who wants to start first?
Go ahead, Patty. Sounds like you're volunteering.
Wow.
So, okay, well, what we'll do is first we'll just go around and share our... It would not stand up today. So these are shows that we all love. We all recommend. Whenever it comes on, we recognize it. We can sing along to it. But looking back with this modern lens, it either wasn't good or it's just certainly not good now. Maybe it was good for its time, but that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So okay. Patty, go ahead. I think you have two.
Yes, I have two. One show that please don't come for me because I know there's some OGs out there that really love this show. And it wouldn't stand a chance. It wouldn't stand a chance right now. Fist of the North Star is one of my favorite animes of all time. Right. I love Fist of the North Star. It's amazing. For all you anime enthusiasts, Hakuto no Shinken. That's the original title. The pacing was compared to what we're doing now, terrible. The fight scenes is just horrible. Story very good. Story very good. This was one of my first anime series that I actually loved, and it opened the doors for me because I've never seen story done like this in the animated series. It was dark, and it got dark very fast. Side note, I saw Fist of the North Star, the movie, which is not a movie, it's an OVA. I didn't know what an OVA was. Usually what an OVA is, ladies and gentlemen, back in the day, what people would do is take at least 25 to 30 episodes and crump them all into a movie and call it an OVA, right? So you wouldn't have to watch the series. So I thought this was a legit movie. 5 years later, that's when I realized, oh shit, this is a whole actual series. The way my torrent download every single episode to watch this, like I watched it and I loved it because at that time anime was limited for me. So it's like, this was something brand new. It was fresh. I loved it. But for it to come out now, no.
Mm-hmm. I did try to play that game, and that was hard.
I mean, I feel like the game is for fans. Mm-hmm. So if you haven't watched the anime, I don't think you would be like,
I was super confused all the time.
Yeah, like you would have to watch the anime to appreciate the game. So are we going around, or do I pick the second one?
Give us your second one that wouldn't hold, and then we'll go around.
All right. So my second one is number 2, Flame of Recca. This shit right here, this has no weight to what we have now. So I'm gonna tell you right now, please don't come for me. Flame of Recca was good. This is what a real fighting arc should be, because when I watched this, the fighting arc was amazing. Everybody had their own particular powers, and it made sense in the tournament. But moving forward, this couldn't stand the test of times with Jujutsu Kaisen. Like, it couldn't compete next to Jujutsu Kaisen. It couldn't compete next to God of High School. It couldn't even compete to, like, what's another anime that has great fight scenes right now?
Right.
Demon Slayer. Well, nothing can compete to Demon Slayer. I'm sorry.
Boruto.
Unless you're
Black
not paying.
Clover.
Nah, it wouldn't. It wouldn't compare to Black Clover either. Like, listen, niggas ain't paying taxes in the studio. So take the time out. Like, it's not.
You're willing to go to jail. Like, how you competing?
Nah, it's just like the fighting arc, because it to me, from what I remember, the whole thing was a tournament arc, right?
Mm-hmm. No, I remember it. Yeah,
it was good for what it was. I just can't see them bringing this back to life and people just running to it like it was Shaman King.
I think too many people have done what they did better at this point.
It was the originators. I think they were
it was up there, and like the existence of Yu Yu Hakusho alone makes this not work. Right. It just be like, this is just a shitty Yu Yu Hakusho. Like, it's not gonna hold.
Mm-hmm. But it was good though. I would recommend you to watch it. It was good.
Yeah. So it was good. It was just good for its time.
Exactly. Good for its time. It's not holding up now. Right. So I'll go next. It's fine. All right. So for me, as you all know, I love me some isekai. Here's one of the earliest ones I ever watched, and that was Dot Hack Sign. No, I did not find a proper picture. I found this one. Leave me alone. All right. So in Dot Hack Sign, pretty much one of the characters gets stuck in the game. Classic Sword Art kind of a situation, but it came out long before Sword Art. I have no idea about light novels, but I know I'm talking anime only here. This thing was on Cartoon Network. I watched it a bunch of times. I did enjoy it. I really liked it, but I did rewatch it when I got really into anime and, was watching on my own. And oh my God, this is bad. Like, every episode was such a drag to get through. Like, I would not recommend this. Like, in this glorious age of isekai, when Overlord exists, like Shield Hero Season 1 exists, like, I'm never going to tell somebody, yeah, you should go back and watch that Hack Sign. Like, no, don't do it. It's not worth it. This is always to me, but I personally think you should really listen to me. I'm saving you time. You could be watching Downton Abbey instead, as we all are right now. So yeah, dot hack sign, no bueno for today, and especially in the oversaturated market of isekai, it will fall to isekai trash so quickly, and not even like high quality isekai trash, just regular like this is kind of a dumpster fire. I don't want to watch it. And for the next one, I had dear memories of this. Like I really thought it was good. I believed with all of my heart that robots playing basketball was a good show. And then I tried to rewatch it. What was it, like a year or two ago? And Basquash. Great black character designs though. So it definitely has that going for it. But I could not make it past episode 1 on the rewatch. Like, what was it, episode 2? 2 episodes, I believe we gave it. So 2 episodes, couldn't rewatch it. So I don't think it would hold now, at all. Like, because it's just not that good a show. That simple. But in my head, like, this is where we're telling you, nostalgia is a very powerful drug. In my head, this was a glorious show. All right, like really good, but no. All right, that's what I got for not holding up.
Okay, my turn. So I feel like those two were pretty like nice and safe with theirs. You might not have heard of them, or you haven't gotten into it. Like I doubt all that many people at this point have really gone back to Fist of the North Star. We all know it. It's like one of the granddaddies of anime, but no one's feeling as invested in it these days. But y'all, I'm going for the heart. We're all thinking it. Derby, go ahead and pop up my number 4 picture. And this, my guys, Inuyasha. Inuyasha. I loved Inuyasha so much. Sesshomaru was my guy. He was a nasty, terrible person, but he looked great. We all admire the demons with their automatic eyeliner. I wanted to become a demon, so I never had to put on eyeliner in my life. But Inuyasha, Ranma 1/2, all of those Rumiko Takahashi anime, they're not as good as we remember them being. Honestly, I think we all saw this when we were young. We saw it on that like bullcrap 3 o'clock in the morning time slot on Toonami.
Woke you up
sometimes
every day.
Even Adult Swim. And the thing is, we remember being good, but when you go back on a rewatch, the storyline isn't quite there. The romance, first of all, it didn't even hit correctly when Rumiko first put Inuyasha out there. Because she had established, y'all, this is not a romance, it's a parody on romance. Yet, for some reason, all of us took it as a love story, and it's a shitty love story.
That's right.
It's not supposed to be a good one. It was supposed to be a bad one. It didn't hit correctly then, and now, on a rewatch, it's just... the pacing is very Demon of the Week. You notice they never get anywhere. I think the anime ended without them like putting together the full jewel, which was the premise. I think they just defeated Naraku, called it a day, had a time skip, and said they're married with babies now. So yeah, the pacing wasn't all there. The dynamics between the characters was like very repetitive with very little growth. So at the time, yeah, it could have been considered a good one. It didn't need an extensive animation budget, because that's what they were doing at the time. It could not exist now. People would be pissed with it now, I think. They wouldn't love it. An example is even Yashahime. Let's see how well that's not doing right now. So, Inuyasha, though we all love it, I would say it is far more nostalgia than it actually is a good series. Period.
Yeah, I think they're trying to rebuild that with Yashahime. Like they want a new generation. Just it's not for you. You're already addicted to Inuyasha. They after the new ones to be addicted to Yashahime. Same with Boruto. You know, like no, we got to run it back. You know, Pokemon can keep doing it. Why can't we?
Pokemon has done an extremely successful job at continuing on. I considered putting Pokemon on the list, but it has stood the test of time. It has upgraded. It has updated. And I can still go back to some Gen 1 Pokemon episodes and think those slap. Like Bye Bye Butterfree? Stop. I tear up every time. But like I said, I'm coming for the heart. I got Inuyasha. Go ahead, at me in the comments. Next up, Sword Art Online. Go ahead and put a picture of that up. Again, it's still going. There's more episodes. There's more seasons. But I mean specifically this first run that blew up the internet on its own. Everyone was watching Sword Art. Everyone was loving Sword Art. Everyone was cosplaying and having merch of Sword Art.
And we'll never stop.
But Sword Art just hit at the right time. That's all. The anime itself was not that amazing. It's a premise we've seen 100 times over. It's one of 2 billion dozen. It didn't do anything that unique. Character, it was just random, generic, black-haired anime guy who's super successful at everything and kind of gets a light harem.
Yeah, Kirito Jesus. The first.
Yeah. Like, there's a reason when people say, like, oh, it's another Kirito with all the other isekai anime. It's not because, like, he was the greatest. It's just he was one of the first to really break into our imported Western American anime context. Like Derby mentioned, Dot Hack was already a thing.
It also broke through out here. It had some video games and everything. Not sure.
Yeah, but it didn't hit the level Sword Art did.
No,
so I don't know. Sword Art just came at the exact right time during doing something that was already very successful. So a lot of these anime that we're talking about, it's not that they're that amazing. We're not saying they're shit. It's that at their time, they found a way, they found the timing to wiggle into a market. All of us saw it, maybe because there wasn't much else to see. When Sword Art came, there weren't that many isekai on our radar at the time. They found a good niche, they stuck in our brains, and years later, we'll think back and say, oh yeah, I remember watching that. I must have liked it since I'm so familiar with it. Therefore, this anime must have been great. Yeah, that is the exact process. I kind of remember it. Since I remember it, it must have been good. Yeah, I'll tell people it was good.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the stuff, it's just nostalgia. And people get real high on their high horses about nostalgia. Like, people say, oh my god, Digimon, amazing, classic. Yu-Gi-Oh, killed it, incredible. But then when you go back and see it, you was like, ooh, this kind of hurts.
I mean, I'm annoyed with Yu-Gi-Oh! When I heard, like, what the official story was supposed to be. I was like, whoa, I want that instead, please. Like, what? Different games every day. Like, and he was kind of evil? Oh, I love it.
Alright, but that just goes to show, if you have some old favorite you remember and it's dear to your heart, go rewatch it right quick before you recommend it. Not saying that all those we talked about are shit. Some of them do still have promise. Like, there's a reason they did become popular back then. But now we have so much more coming out, and the quality has just increased so much that it's almost hard to look at those older ones. So now those are the ones that we thought more nostalgia than actual quality. But on the other hand, we each have our own little list of ones that if you go back to watch it, even though the animation might not match this current 2020 animation, it is still just a solid good watch. It has a lot of strengths, and it would hold itself well in the modern market. So Patty, do you want to start with yours again?
Let me see real quick. Yeah, sure. I'll start off with the ones that we think that would hold the test of time. I would have to say, I have to say number 4, Claymore. I have to say that Claymore will definitely hold the test of times because the story was amazing. Female leads everywhere. Titty ratio, perfect to hip ratio.
Had something for everyone.
Yeah, had something for everybody. The story was amazing. It's definitely your shonen / seinen. This, I would definitely feel like this would be top tier if either Wit, Cloverwork, Mappa, even Ufotable, if they touched this and they did the fight scenes and the animations and they drew the Yoma, which is the monsters, if they drew the monsters horrifically and made it really gross, really gruesome, this would be really great. This would be really great. Like, this will hold the test of time. The story alone is great. The concept is executed well. Like, this would have been great. I'm disappointed that they didn't have a season 2, but right here, this is top tier. This would be top tier if it came out this season.
You think it would probably get a season 2 if it came out now?
Yeah, most definitely.
All right.
Most definitely. And my third, well, yeah, it's the second is Gantz. And I definitely do feel that Bree's not. Hey Bree, hi. She's not peeking.
This one's mine.
She's only peeking at hers. I feel like Gantz would be a great anime if it came out. Just because the story alone, this is a perfect seinen. This will give Chainsaw Man a run for its money. Just because I feel like the story is well put together. The suits, the monsters, the concept. I don't want to say too much because I really want y'all to invest in actually watching Gantz, not the Netflix CGI shit. I'm talking about the real series. Gantz was amazing. This right here is a good piece of work. If you guys do decide to watch Gantz, don't be afraid to pick up. This mangaka did another series called Inuyashiki. Not Inuyasha. Inuyashiki is the same mangaka, great series, beautiful concept. It's amazing OP. Love the OP. So this is more like he usually does. I feel like he's familiar with sci-fi, seinen stuff, and it just makes sense. He give this man a pen, and he will give you the most immaculate, crazy story he could possibly give you. Now, this I specifically would want Mappa to do this. Just because of how gruesome those monsters look in Gantz and the weaponry that they use when they're out there being called, I feel like Mappa would annihilate this because there's some animes that do need a little bit of CGI just to keep the gears going because there's so many things happen at once and it's so fast. CGI is Mappa's middle name. I feel like they know how to incorporate it with the anime without making it look cheesy.
Yeah, with Dance Dance Dancer, I believe it. That's what really sold me. They did good with Attack on Titan, but with Dance Dance Dancer, it's so smoothly integrated. That's Mappa, right? I'm pretty sure Dance Dance Dancer is Mappa. And it just makes me think, okay, maybe CGI and a bit anime isn't so bad. So I would trust Mappa with that. Anytime you need to like sprinkle in a little CGI because it can't be straight up animation.
Only Mappa. Just a side note, ladies and gentlemen, when the studio uses CGI, it's also a cheaper way for them to execute a shot, right? It doesn't take that much time and it doesn't take that much money. But the real essence of doing CGI and having it in your anime series is to have it blend well. We're obviously going to know it's CGI, but when it moves with the animation instead of fighting with the animation, because there's some CGI that just hurt your eyes. You're like, whoa, hold on.
Jimmy Samurai. It's a problem. Would they just like suddenly switch because they were too cheap to animate it? It's like, stop, come on.
You ever seen the CGI so bad you press the menu button on your remote thinking like, oh, it's the same show? Did I do something? Did something
we all
happen?
know one of the most egregious offenders of that was like Berserk 2016? Whenever the fuck year it was. Like I remember I was like so excited to get into Berserk. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna watch this new season.
That was
5 seconds and I'm like, my eyes, they bleed. They hurt so much.
It was terrible. And you know what's so fucking terrible about that? That's actually an arc on the manga, and it was a good arc. They made me read it. They made me read it because I was like, oh nah, he didn't die for this. He didn't die for this. So rest in peace to the mangaka who created Berserk. But yeah, the whole purpose of CGI to be implemented in the anime is to make sure it blends and don't fight with the animation. We appreciate that. We're never against anime studios incorporating CGI because you got to do shit and you got to make it look clean and crisp. And we understand sometimes you ain't got the funds to do it, but when you look like you had the funds and you put the chef's kiss. So those are my two that I think that will serve the test of times.
Okay. So for me, I went first with GTO. GTO is amazing. It probably will be amazing for a good 50 more years. I don't care what anyone says. It's one of the funniest things I have ever seen. It still is. Yeah, so if you haven't seen GTO, I remember when I first saw it, I thought it was going to be a show about like Grand Theft Auto because I couldn't read properly, and I saw GTA on Showtime or whatever channel it was hiding on. But yeah, so GTO it's in the title. Great teacher Onizuka. Onizuka wants to become a high school teacher. He does have some shady ulterior motives. He does want to marry like one of his students.
To be honest, just for that, I think me and Bree talked about it. I don't think this would be a. This would never
think
come
it
out.
would hit.
This
because it's not just about quality; it's about the current atmosphere.
Yeah,
it would hold out just fine.
Now with the Me Too movement going on, this is not gonna fly. Here's
the thing: it would have a lot of controversy around it, sure, but it'd be fine. The same way
Goblin has to make up for the controversy.
Yeah, the same way Goblin Slayer is still getting movies and season 2s, GTO would hold.
Yeah, but this is a teacher looking up girls' skirts.
It still might be more close to a jobless rebirth situation, where it's like kind of a grown man looking at little girls. So people are like,
yeah,
because even a great in anime jobless rebirth it is not going to be as successful as it could have been without that extra.
Oh no, without a doubt.
It is severely limited by people saying, yeah, this is just too far for me.
Without a doubt, some people would definitely drop it, but I think it would hold just the same.
Okay.
So it'd be the same people watching it, but it would still be popular, and it would still hold. And I stand by that. GTO holds. Especially because I have rewatched it. It's still funny. He's still somewhat of a wholesome character, but again, just like the Rudy character in Jobless, it's like, you know.
You can't be a wholesome pedophile. Let's just
right. But the other one I think would be way less controversial for why it's still good, and that is one I just recently watched for the first time, and that is Monster. Monster is epic in every way. Like, honestly, I don't even really think you need to fuck with the art to like upscale it to now. It holds. Like, just give it like the what the fuck show is the one I'm always raving about? Megalobox treatment, and it'll be fine.
Every time I see Monster, I just keep on remembering how the protagonist is like, Mr. Yonkers, Mr. Yonkers. Like, that's all I'm hearing him screaming, because that's like the loudest I ever hear him. Monster is an amazing. Guys, if you haven't seen Monster,
so good.
You know what's so amazing about Monster is the way it flows. Like, the pacing is perfect. You're in episode 5 and you think you're on episode 50 because there's so much shit going on, and you're not, and they're not leaving you for a loop. They carry you. They're like, no. Come on. You're getting on the train and we're going to every stop. Like, it's perfect.
Yeah, they explain the premise, and it happens pretty much in like the first 2 episodes. Basically, doctor saves the life of a kid instead of some rich fuck. And it turns out he made a tiny little mistake. He couldn't possibly have known, said it was a mistake that would fuck his whole life up. But yeah, kid is a serial killer and goes about continuing to do that. So it's so good. I can't get into it anymore without fully spoiling it. So yeah, please, I highly recommend it.
This is very, very. This is one of the top selling mangas in Barnes and Nobles too. Monster is very good. And if you get and what's great about the cover art on the manga on Monster, if they all connect when you lay them down in order. It's like a big frame, which I thought that was super cool. So
they had some fun with like the pictures and like the ending credits, and that would constantly change to go with like the story being told and like what part of the story you are. It's well thought out. It's very good.
Yeah. They fuck you up.
I cannot recommend it enough. It's damn good.
Okay. So my turn. Go ahead and put up my number 3 image. So the first one I chose for an anime I saw before, but I genuinely believe it will hold up. I don't like the first image better, but either way, is Gunslinger Girl. I have no idea who has it. It was on Netflix a while ago, but this is just a really solid anime. Because you know what? Child soldiers will never go out of date in anime.
Oh, no.
I'll say it again. There's Jormungand, there's all of Naruto and Jujutsu Kaisen. Stop it. We all love kids who are too young being put in terrible, bloody, brutal situations. Look at Hero Academy right now. So this thematically still fits in on top of like the brutal children doing something children shouldn't have to do in terms of violence. It's also got like some of that warm family feels that's very, in topic right now or in season. Like we've got our spy family, our Kotaro lives alone. We just love kids and family dynamics in anime right now. Daimon. So Gunslinger Girl has that kind of like sweet sibling relationship because it's about genetically modified young girls who partner up with an older spy agent, and they go around carrying out missions. So for the main one, they're called pairs of siblings. So it's supposed to be like an older brother guy going around with his younger sister, until younger sister whips out a gun and starts like machine gunning down terrorist organizations.
Sure.
So it's very good. I love it.
Did you like season 2?
I can't remember season 2. It's been a minute since I have seen it, but I do believe it doesn't even need upgraded animation or anything. The art style, while it does look like it's from the 2000s, because it is, would still hold up. Nothing too strange. The animation is good, and I think it's really more about the emotions and the feelings rather than just the action, although it still has plenty of great action. So I would say that is one that would stand up. Next, my number 2 image. This one's not surprising, but I will stand behind it. Soul Eater was and is a fantastic anime, as evidenced by the creator getting to then do Fire Force. So it's got great representation in terms of strong female characters. It has that one great black character who has his like double gauntlet twins. So cool. It's those characters we freaking love. Like, everyone recognizes Death the Kid if someone's walking up with that outfit down the street. Everyone knows, like, the upside-down guns he pulls with his pinkies. It's iconic now. It's much loved by a lot of people. It's favorited. And I'd say the comedy is still hilarious. The characters are still great. The storyline is tight. The anime moves smoothly through it. And it's just a really solid anime that I think would hold up.
I'll let go. All right. So next, what do we got next? It was, which show would probably do better if it came out today? Anyone want to volunteer to go first?
I got this one. All right, let me tell you
She's
something.
wrong. I'm joking.
I'm gonna tell you right now, the best show that will tear up any other series this season or any other season starting from 2020, 2019, starting from 2019, 2018, it will have the whole pandemic in a chokehold right now, is Basilisk. I'm gonna tell you why. You see this art? You see this art?
I mean, it does look nice.
Let that in. You see this? Bree, come around the corner and look at this art. You see this?
Yeah, it's nice.
This artwork, this animation is top tier. I've never seen anything like it that was so breathtaking. This made me pick up a pencil again. I love Basilisk. Not to mention the story is about 2 family assassins going after each other. Why? Because it was written, so therefore it has to be done. Like, this shit is crazy. Like, I love it. They didn't even have to touch the artwork. Like, they don't have to touch the artwork. The animation would have to be, finessed a little bit. But if it came out right now, Jujutsu what? Like, this is everything that it has. Seinen, it's shonen, story fire, every single character's backstory. You introduced by every single character. I think each tribe has each assassin group has 20, no, not 20, but at least 8 or 12, and you get to find out about each person and their abilities. Like, and it's so fire. It's related. There's a bitch in there that's like a spider. That's so raw. Like, even the webs look beautiful. Don't mind where it comes out from. Don't care about that. But it's still fire. Like, this show I'm waiting for this to come out. Forget the sequel. It was a mistake. But still, show came out right now. By all means, this show could come out 20 years from now and still be relevant because of the story and the art. This show could come out right at 50 years from now. My grandkids will be like, oh, Grandma Patty said about this show, this is fire. This is still lit. It's still relevant. It's timeless. It's fine wine. It gets better every time you watch it. And I don't regret watching this shit at all. At all. And I'm done.
Most passionate you've been this episode.
Right?
Okay, maybe I'll need to check out Basilisk.
Nah, you can't.
It's not for you.
It's a little bloody.
It's not for you. I can tell you that for a fact.
But it's pretty bloody?
Oh, it's pretty.
If it's pretty, I can take the blood. No, I can't. That's a lie.
It's pretty. It's pretty.
Okay,
If you don't want people crossing out names with their own blood, like, It's pretty. I like it. Even the blood is pretty.
Okay, well, let me go next. So, y'all, when researching for this episode, I think the hard thing that all three of us ran into was the older the animes are, the harder it is to find good quality images, the harder it is to even remember things. Because as I was looking through, I'd suddenly find stuff like, oh, shoot, I did watch that. Oh, my God, I remember that. I love that. And there are several, I think, that I would have loved if they came out again now. Mm-hmm. But the absolute top of the list, the king of all kings, the one that sat at the very top that I don't think anything could beat, if this came out right now for the first time, people were reading it for the first time, people were watching it for the first time, it would be such a freaking cultural movement. People would explode if this came out right now. Go ahead, Derby, put up that picture of my final one. Death Note, guys. Just imagine in your heads if Death Note came out for the first time right now in hashtag cancel culture and Me Too movement while people are posting shit about people who attack them, how many people would fall in love with the idea that I'm going to write your name down and kill you? How many people are fighting with criminal justice system right now, with politics right now, and just saying, what if there was a guy who just decided to go the simple route? Criminals die. Imagine if something like this came out in this political climate, in this social climate. Something with that quality, because no one can look at Death Note and not think, yeah, that is incredible writing. Imagine what would happen to the internet in that one special episode we all know, spoiler alert, seriously, spoiler, if you haven't seen Death Note yet, close your ears for like 10 seconds, where L dies. Imagine if that happened right now with TikTok and Twitter and social media. When did Death Note come out? I think it was like 2001 or 2008.
I think it was 8.
Was it 2008?
No idea.
I think it was
like 2006. Yes. That, yeah, there was some light social media. We weren't doing social media like that though.
2006,
2003 to about 2006 as it was coming out. Sorry guys, I had to look it up. We weren't all that on the internet. Yeah, we were on the internet. I think that was still maybe even dial-up era, maybe just after dial-up era.
What year did
but imagine right now if Death Note happened for the first time right now in 2020, 2021, during COVID.
You want to police my body? You want to ban abortion? What's your name again?
Imagine the
every Supreme Court justice.
Can you imagine how amazing it would be if Death Note was like a spring 2022 anime and we were watching it episode by episode right now? I am so jealous of people I sometimes see on TikTok going through the series for the first time. I'm so jealous they're experiencing that for the first time right now. Death Note, if it came out now, like when it came out, it was already a hit. It's already a classic. No one can touch Death Note. But if it came out now, I can't imagine.
No, that would be amazing. This is top tier writing. The animation was clean. It is. The only problem that I have with Death Note is that I guess you can't get 2 platinum hits from the same person because they came out Platinum Men. Yeah, you like that pun? So they came out with Platinum Men, and it didn't do as well as Death Note. I don't know why I thought it was going to do as well as Death Note. Nothing.
Yeah, but Bakuman, not Barakamon, Bakugo. No,
Bakuman.
Bakuman. It is Bakuman. Yeah, Bakugan Battle Brawlers, but Bakuman, the anime manga.
Oh no, that was good.
That was good, but
that one was good.
But I feel like that was easy because it was literally a story about them, how they met. Because it's it was the artist and the writer. So all they had to do was just put out the blueprints and how the manga industry is a savage industry. And they did a great job telling the story of how really shitty the industry is.
Yeah, but they don't get to Death Note numbers like Death Note.
Yeah, but they did have some good stuff all. But I just mean, y'all, if any of you have a friend who haven't seen Death Note yet, drag them with you and just enjoy it. I had the wonderful experience of rewatching Death Note like a year or 2 ago with a friend of mine who had never seen it before, and she was going around calling Light Senpai. I'm like, oh, stop it.
I think Death Note
was a Light stan.
I think that era, Death Note was a lot of people's first. for that era.
Sure.
Probably.
Sure.
A lot of
Oh
people.
my god, those
and that's
people are
why I
definitely
wanted to
connoisseurs.
talk about it.
Oh yeah.
That's why I want to talk about in this episode. The idea, is it nostalgia or is it that good? Yeah, I'm sorry, it's that good. Not only is it that good, it could still come out right now, exact same animation, exact same stuff, and it would still be an absolute hit.
Question: Which studio would you want to bring out Death Note to redo it?
I feel like if there were any studio, it would already be Cloverwork, because we all consider like part 1 up through L, and then like the equivalent of season 2 with Nier, and the season 2, everyone knows it went downhill after that. So it feels like it was a Cloverworks anime. That's what I'm saying. Season 1, incredible, bow for it. Season 2, not as good. It fell off a little.
You
There
ran out
are
of
2
money.
seasons, but we all consider like that last 10 episodes almost a separate thing.
Yeah, that's so crazy, ain't it? Like Death Note was 25 episodes. 25?
That's
how
it.
good it was.
That's it. It didn't need 100. All they needed was 25.
And we thought
Was
the
that
second
25? I thought it was like 50 something.
Death Note?
Death
It's
Note
a pretty short anime.
It's short. But after L died, we didn't know where they was going with it. So we was like, oh, this is season 2, this is trash.
I wouldn't say it was trash, but it definitely wasn't season 1.
It dropped. It couldn't hold up as strong.
I got disappointed because
There's no more L. Like, who's he fighting?
I feel like you're only as good as your. Is it a villain?
Yeah, you're villain. I
You're
mean,
only your
But
protagonist.
which one was the
is
villain?
good.
That's what I loved about that moral ambiguity. Because
I mean,
you know, like
Light,
neither side
Light
was
was the
great.
villain.
Wait.
Light was the villain.
Clearly, murdering people is worse
I
than like
take
a
that
little
back.
bit of
It's 37. episodes.
privacy violation.
37, yeah, that makes
Wait, it was
37
37?
episodes.
Yeah, I'm like, I know
Okay,
it was
you're
only
right.
20 something.
But still, that's not like 50. It's not 100.
It's fairly short.
They told the story they needed to tell within that time frame. I love the fact that we saw Light, that piece of shit, growing up, getting older, going to college, finishing college.
Growth. We saw the growth. Story was done. Story was told very well. Shout out to Madhouse Studios. I wouldn't. You know what? I wouldn't be upset if Madhouse did this again.
Definitely.
I don't even need a remake, honestly. I think the animation was fine. It didn't need to be any kind of like dramatic action. They hit the points they had to hit.
Yeah, I feel like it's not old enough for a remake yet. In like 15 years,
I don't know if I trust it with a remake. I don't know I'll trust it if they try to change anything.
That's the thing. Yeah, they would have to. It would have to be a pure remake of just upscaling the art. That's it. That's all you're allowed to
a
do.
remastered version. I will allow them to come out with a remastered.
Yes, I will allow a remastered. But I don't know if you know this, but the creators of Death Note, like, they're big on bangs. Almost every character here has bangs. Nobody here has a side swoop. Everybody has mad hair. And I want the animation to be top tier when it comes to strands. Like, I want, like, when it comes to hair movement, I feel like with what we're watching now, what we're seeing now, and how we pay attention to detail and shit, I want those hairs, I want those bangs to move. I
imagine that chip scene with better graphics.
I would allow that. You're allowed to remake that one scene.
That would be dope.
All right. So for my last one, hopefully it will not be as epic as Death Note, because I think that's up there as well. It also made my short list. But for me, I was thinking of making money, and nothing makes more money right now to me than the Fast and Furious series. So I thought Initial D would do really well right now. Like, it's like, especially when you consider the fact that the art for Initial D is not that great, but the street racing was epic, and fans of Initial D are fiends. Like, we love it. We can't get enough, even though the art looks honestly kind of garbage by today's standards. So if it came out today, upscale that art, maybe even slightly.
I can see that being so much CG. Design. That would need so much CG for the cars. They'd have to like really take care of it.
It already did well with as much CG as it used when it came out. Right? So imagine with the new techniques of CG now, how well it would do. Like, it would crush it. It just would. Like, Initial D would be amazing.
The vehicles, the cars, they look amazing. It's just the characters look trash. Characters, they look like they spent all the money. They look like they spent all the money on the vehicles, the cars, the sports cars, all of them. It just look, they put money on that, and then they just had a fifth grader say, "Hey, draw him smiling," and that's what it was. But Initial D definitely turned. Initial D is one of those animes. If you go to a con and you see all the cars out there, like, you know, where they have a section where they have anime vehicles, there's always going to be
186.
One. And you always go and look at the back window to see if there's tofu in the back. That's the main anime car that if you're an anime head and you know Initial D, you know that car is going to be at that anime convention. It's one of those cars. It's definitely pulled out, like, it opened up a whole genre of racing when it came out. Like, people were drifting all over in Japan. It became such a staple. Like, niggas who, they had that car and somebody installed a television just so they could watch Initial D in the car. Like, I saw it on YouTube. I was like, yo, they beast. And then Mike insisted that we watch Initial D. And he was like, oh, this is trash. Like, he hated the way they looked, but he loved the story. Okay, real quick, ladies and gentlemen. The first race we get to see this protagonist do, right, is down a hill. Mm-hmm. Now, mind you, his car is not the fastest car. And I realized how they went into the story, because they tell you your car doesn't have to be the fastest car. It's just how you drive it. This dude is racing against another individual. And the main character is just, he got his hand like this on his face while he racing like it's nothing. Mind you, the protagonist is sweating. You see the armpit sweat, the animation, like he looked like there's no AC in the car and the windows are rolled up. This dude, and when they break down how the protagonist wins, the reason the protagonist wins is because he's been going down this hill for so long. He knows exactly how to have the tires cut on and hug the curve, so he doesn't have to slow down when he makes turns. My husband is a big car fanatic. When he saw that analogy, he said, "Get the fuck out of here." They put it in the anime. They put this, look at the rim. Look the way he cut they showed how the tire caressed the curve of the hill for him to not slow down and still keep the same momentum when he hits the fucking turns.
Nah, I need you to understand, this is in 1998. The art does not look great.
Okay, but let me ask you this.
Standards. Oh yeah.
If you want it up to today's standards, do you still want it to have like the 90s feeling, or do you want to like update it, modern cars, like modern outfits? Because I feel like
you can keep the same cars.
I don't want no.
I just looked at the cars and they look so mad. I can't even imagine cars like that being fast. So I can see that being funny looking, but also have an appeal because of that like oldie looking art style.
Yeah, because I wouldn't change anything about the story. Like, it stays in the same time, all of that. Car buffs will really love it because they're car buffs and they'll know more. And I really love it because it looked great. It was a fun watch. I enjoyed the racing. I enjoyed all the battles. But, you know, they were just races. But still, I enjoyed all the techniques that they would randomly employ, like just cutting off their lights so that their opponent couldn't see them at night while they passed them. Like, oh my, like that was so good. Like, what? Oh, Initial D would do amazing now.
Okay, so real quick, I just wanted to say this.
I don't know where you put the rock in it, though.
I feel like when we talk about animation and nostalgia, let's keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, there's a difference between animation and art style, right? Mm-hmm. So animation is just movement, how everything transitions of the story of the animation, right? Mm-hmm. The art style is pretty much the style of the characters, the backgrounds, etc. Right? Those are two different things. Now, when I say, you know, something comes out from the early 2000s or the 90s, does not mean that the art is not good, right?
Not at all.
You said when it comes to the test of times, like if it comes out here, I would appreciate this studio to do it. When I say I want a studio to do it, I don't want them to change the art style. Not necessarily, because there are animes out there that the art style right now, if it came out, it looks clean. Like, I will die on this hill. Golden Boy is fucking amazing. Golden Boy is great. Was amazing. I've never seen panties and stockings look so immaculate before in my life. And this is hand-drawn anime, right? I will never take away a studio that can do hand-drawn anime that can still be right up there with 2020, 2022. There are some animes that are really clean and really crisp. So don't get it twisted. When we say that we want a studio to redo this, or if it would last, if it would hold the test of times for 2022 in this season, it doesn't necessarily mean that we don't think the art won't last. It's more so of the animation and the movement and how it does well with the new technology that's out there. Because now, mind you, nobody's hand drawing shit no more, unless you're a manga. Because some of them, I don't know. I think Oda has holy water in his pen, and I don't think he does anything. I think he does everything with a water, and it just goes into everybody's apps, and it just comes out. But
just pulls right out of his brain.
I'm telling you. But what people do digitally is amazing. But I will never, like Akira, the movie is, I could watch that movie mute and be like, oh my God. The movement and the art style is just immaculate. And then you forget, hey, this is hand-drawn stuff. There are studios that you will look at back in the 90s and you forget that, oh, they didn't have the shit we got now. This is real slave labor. This is real.
Right? We're not even covering the movies. We're not touching anime movies. So, you know, that all that Satoshi Kon stuff, Paranoia Agent, Perfect Blue, Millennium Actress. We don't even need to say anything. Those will be good 100 years from now and 200 years from now.
When did Perfect Blue come out? Was that early 2000? Was that early 2000?
Just Google it.
Yeah. 1997.
1999.
Now,
can you release different in different places?
Yeah, it might just be.
It might not have released in the US till 99.
US release.
Yep. So all those Satoshi Kon ones, can't touch them. Any Ghibli stuff, can't touch it.
Can't touch them.
Too good.
It's amazing. Well, you know, you're right, Bree. It's kind of unfair to bring up movies because movies is a whole different ball game. It's different budget. Yeah. It's not as
different. Then the artist could just sit down, focus just on this 90 minutes of pure gold, while a serialized thing like the anime had to be like week by week, ongoing. Comes what comes. It's a
different standard to be held. But just to let you know that if you look at the art style back then and compare it to what it is now, there are some that came out 90s, 80s. You're like, wow. They were beyond its time. There were animes that you saw, the art style was so clean. You're like, damn, this look good. So I just don't want people to be discouraged. If you decide to go and look at old anime, I want you to understand that don't get discouraged, because not everything has to be a Demon Slayer project. Not everything has to be a Jujutsu Kaisen project. Not everything has to be
and not just for animation, art style too, because y'all, if you're trying to go back and watch some shoujo from the 2000s, 90s, you're going to have these giant eyes set all the way apart. Any fans of Kamichama Karen know what I'm talking about. They had some weird stuff.
Anything that came from Clamp Studio.
Okay, no, I still love Clamp. I love Clamp. Yeah, so you're gonna have some wild art styles. Yeah,
they
pre-2010s.
They took a lot more liberties and had, honestly, I would say a little bit more freedom, because I feel like now that corporations know what sell, they're pretty much kind of streamlining what you can and can't draw, or what can and can't make it out to the big screens, and well, just even your living room screen.
A few divergent art styles, like an Odd Taxi. And what's our King's Ranking? So those are some like more unique art styles that came out and stuck out because they're unique, but I feel like we're not getting as many of those like strange individualistic art styles.
Another art style that's very unique. I feel like anything that has to be done with mecha will always be top tier artwork. I feel.
Yeah, it does take a lot of effort to draw a mecha. I don't love mecha anime, but it
for the
does
ones
take
that get lazy
I'm not
and do it pure CGI. Those can be.
I mean, back in the day, were they doing CGI like Gundam Seed?
Yeah, like a lot of old Gundam are all hand drawn.
Yeah.
Some of the newer ones are like iffy, but even some of the new ones, like I feel like it's not so much art style. I feel like it's more design. It's pretty cool because you have to design them from scratch because you can't all just use the same fucking Gundam. So you have to give them some kind of uniqueness that makes it like recognizable and not just, oh, this is like the Power Rangers, like full robot. Like you need something that, stands, differentiates yourself a little. So I wouldn't say so much art style is different among mangas, but like design.
Design. Yeah, I totally agree. That's a oh my God. Bree.
Yeah.
Did we forget what? Hold on, bitch. Hold on. I'm surprised none of us repeated this. Are you serious?
What?
No.
What?
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, hold on. Let me do an honorable mention. I'm so sorry.
Yo, we had mad honorable mentions. We just didn't say them.
This one has to be said because I feel like if I don't say it, I'm a fraud. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not watched Black Butler, this shit will serve the times. I'm sorry. If this shit came out this year with the same art, first of all, shout out to
I don't know how well it would do. I would love to say Black Butler. I considered it, but I don't know how well it would do right now specifically, and I'm blaming TikTok for it because right now purity culture is pushing on TikTok like, oh, that's an underage character. Oh my God, that's such a toxic, inappropriate dynamic. I think Black Butler would get cancel cultured the hell out of it because the longer you go in the series, it gets less like shady in certain regards.
Because you
like that's like a season one. That's a first like maybe 10, 15 chapters thing, and then it goes beyond that. But at first, it's very Shota.
I mean,
like Wally, it is full on Shota for the first section. It goes out of that later.
He's talking caressively to his meal. That's how I feel. I feel like
talking caressively.
I feel like that's some new shit. I like my shit. I feel like the story is so good. And the fact that he has this weird relationship with CL, and it's just ladies and gentlemen,
I love it.
I'm feeling a double standard of GTL right now.
Nah, if you have that, let me have it. If you don't know, this is what made Bree and I get closer. It's because of Black Butler. I haven't read anything come close to the type of writing skills this woman has. I thought she had an idol arc, bruh. And it's not just idol arc.
And she tricked us all about it. Because, again, people, if you are watching Black Butler or reading it online at the time, people were making jokes in comment sections. Like, we're all fans, we love it, but the author doesn't know what she's doing. She's just throwing in random crap. There's zombies on the Titanic, and now the main character is going to school, and now he's a pop idol? Like, what the hell? She doesn't know what she's doing. And then it all started connecting. And it was like, oh shit.
Oh, I wrote a letter saying, I'm sorry for doubting you. Yo, she is great.
Was he a pop idol for revenge?
Even though
was he a pop idol for revenge? Like, what happened?
No, it was just you got to be there for it.
Yeah,
we can't explain why he goes to the Titanic and went to school, then became a pop idol, but it was relevant at the time. He was also a circus performer for a little while.
Yeah, a lot of things happened. Season 2 is canon. It's non-canon, right?
Non-canon. Season 2 of the original anime is non-canon, not part of the manga. I like to pretend it doesn't exist. I don't know if it would be able to do so well if it was coming out now. But, like, I swear, guys, go read Black Butler. Go read Black Butler. You won't be disappointed.
Who did Shadow House? Wit? Who did Shadow House?
Cloverworks as well.
Cloverworks.
Which is why we're all very stressed about season 2.
Hear me out. If Cloverworks, right, had me on staff, right, and sat there, took the art style, kept it the way it is, but add some more, when I mean like having more, I'm one hell of a butler. Like, I want J. Michael Tatum to still be the voice actor. I want, like, the pastries to still look beautiful. I want the tea to be piping hot. I want the chandeliers and the tea sets to be beautiful, shiny.
I did get that. Don't forget, Book of Circus and Book of the Atlantic were those remakes. They were the reboots. They were, okay, let's start this all over again and try.
But for now, for this season, for these standards that we have.
Oh, for the stuff that's going on right now? Oh.
Yeah, it would be beautiful. Are you kidding me?
I just want the Idol arc animated. I want that animated.
I want that animated. I want them to sing and take a towel with sweat and throw it in the bitch face. Be like, here, bitch. Like, that's the type of Idol shit I want to see. And it just looks, they pushed the kid off a roof like, fuck you, bitch. Like that. It was raw. It's raw. It's a good story. It's a good story.
Too much. Dang, it's amazing, guys. If you start reading Black Butler right now, you will not be disappointed.
You will when you get to the end.
Amazing.
When you're caught up, you get disappointed.
Oh yeah, because it's like one update a month, and sometimes it skips a month. You get to catch up just once a year.
Oh, I know that.
I only read Black Butler once a year, and I catch up on all 12 chapters.
It's bad. And you want to know something? Black Butler has an amazing fan base. The only situation that I think is really, really bad. The mangaka tweeted years ago, we talked about this, that she sleeps in the air mattress, or she sleeps on, like, she can't afford a bed or a futon.
So to have you don't have that many great fans who haven't donated her a bed yet, like that.
Nah, I feel like maybe
I got $100 from Uncle Joe.
She got a shitty deal. I think she got a shitty deal because there's a lot of people.
Because you can't go to a single Barnes and Nobles and not see at least 5 or 6 volumes of Black Butler sitting on the shelf.
But they never in order though.
Some got 1 or 2, never in order. Some other series only have 1 or 2. But Black Butler, you can always find half a dozen volumes sitting on the shelf ready for people to buy them. That means it's still selling. It is still selling well enough for bookstores to be ready.
I think at my Barnes and Nobles it has like a whole subsection of a shelf.
As it should. There should be a One Piece shelf and there should be a Black Butler shelf.
Basically.
She's very good. I have to say that she's a very good mangaka. I want more for her. She just signed a contract with Disney. Hopefully everything goes well. You didn't hear about that?
For Twisted Paradise or Twisted Wonderland.
And I know Disney is stepping into the anime game, like both of that, and I think they have one of the anime from this season, so I'm very stressed.
I kind of don't want them to. I don't know. It depends on what they do with Daredevil. If they're really willing to break out of the strictly family-friendly Disney mode.
I've been enjoying everyone on TikTok being angry that She-Hulk is not muscly enough, and
CGI. Her whole thing is CGI.
I don't care about that.
I know, but she needs to be buffer. We need her.
She's way too scrawny. Yeah, right. Like we need Louisa in green makeup, basically.
She looks. I read the comics. Well, then again, it's weird because when you read She-Hulk comics, 1 minute she's like super buff and sexy, and the next minute she's like Hulk. So I don't know
how we just have what it feels like from what I've seen is like Jim Carrey's The Mask. That's all I say. Like she just put on some green makeup. That's it. And I'm like, that's not enough. Be bigger.
One thing I do
be
have
impressive
to say that I feel like it's going to be very well written out is her sexuality in the series. We don't see a lot of female leads that are very like, let me carry you upstairs, bitch. Like we don't really see, like she literally carries a dude upstairs to the bedroom so she can get it.
She should.
And I like to see when women own their sexuality and own what the fuck they want without being critiqued and criticized or being slut shamed. So that's one thing I'm very excited about. I don't know. I was excited for this, but I'm just like, I get to it when I get to it. I'm not
get to it immediately. You heard our last episode. You gotta do your homework.
I'll get to it when I get to it. Like there's no other movie coming out that I'm really anticipating for, so I'll get to it. I could wait. Or I could do what I did and watch the last series a week before the movie come out. I could do that. But real quick, right? A question for you guys. Since everybody's dipping there, and Derry helped me think of this. If everybody's dipping to the anime scene, what do you think is going to happen with the quality of anime that's going to be released?
Honestly, I I think it'll be basically what happened in the past few years. We'll get some amazing hits, some extra ones, but we'll also get a shit ton of trash. So we'll get like 2 that are like, oh my god, why is this so good? And then 8 that are like, they didn't really need to waste their time on this. I'll watch it because I'm hungry and there's nothing to watch, but it don't need to exist. So I feel like that's basically what we're gonna get. We're just gonna get like a few extra amazing shows and then a bunch of meh projects that just are there.
What I'm hoping for is streaming platforms to start like a mad dash to find and take anime, since a lot of like the big budget ones will automatically go to Crunchy, will automatically go to those like huge streaming platforms. I'm hoping some like the lesser known stuff will sneak through, like the Bathhouse anime on Netflix. Who would have ever gotten that? They just need content, they don't care what, so they're pulling in these things that we wouldn't have otherwise seen. Similar to Kotaro Lives Alone. It didn't have the best animation, but it was still a great series that would have gone under a lot of radars. But because Netflix needed content, they said, yeah, sure, you over there, get over here. We're making you now. So that's what I really want to see. And I'm hoping will come out. Like, a lot of the smaller ones will start sneaking through just because platforms need content and they can't afford, like, the big budget ones. They can't afford the Jujutsu Kaisens and the Borutos.
So, like, when we were talking...
Yeah, more, Therma, Roma, Nova, more Kotaro Lives Alone, more Way of the House Husband. Even if it's not great, get these lesser ones in that don't have the budget to be massive things, that don't have as much advertisement. Get in these cheap shows, because getting in even the smaller, lesser known stuff will still do really great, because that'll show us more.
And that's a check for the mangaka, you know. That's a bed, you know.
And not a big check, but it's a check.
Depending on the contract.
Yeah, not only that, with more outlets, that's way more negotiation possibilities. That's like, yo, Netflix just offered me $1,000 to release this. What you got, Amazon? And Bezos is gonna be like, yeah, I can do too, and up you go. But you can't be like too obvious. But you can, you know, you have a bit more wiggle room.
I mean, depending on how well it does. Like we said before, Squid Games, the writer of Squid Games got $20,000 for that series. That series was a massive series.
Yeah, but I feel
now he could finagle and say, nah.
Yep. You gotta get the small one to get the big one.
Right. But it was because of social media and the trend it had for him to come back in the bargaining table. Now, with anime, we all know how season 2 comes about. That's if you're lucky to get it. So the thing is that I'm saying this to say this. What I'm more worried about is that with everybody diving their hands into something that's brand new to them, or they have no business putting their hands in, I feel like the quality of work would decrease. I feel like the respect for anime would definitely decrease, because we already see what the Oscars said about anime.
Yeah, but that's not so much.
Talked about it like it was just a cartoon, like it was not really something for adults to enjoy. I want something like that to change, but for that to change and for people to take anime seriously, or to really give it the respect that it deserves, we need people putting out quality content. I'm not saying we ain't gonna get no shitty content. It's fine. Not all content is good content. Like, y'all know how I feel my roommate is a cat. This not gonna be anime of the year, but it's dear to my heart. So, and I feel like it was good quality work. But the problem is that when we get saturated with people coming in just doing shit just because they feel like it's a money grab and it's not genuine, I feel like we're going to get more shit stains than good quality work.
I disagree in the sense that, yes, it's going to be more of both. And more of both seems like a bad thing at first, because there will definitely be more trash, as I've said. It's going to be, I feel like a 2 to 8 ratio feels right. Like, you will get 8 bad shows for every 2.
But y'all acting like we don't like trash sometimes. No, but we don't love trash.
But that's what I'm saying. When I say they're trash, I don't mean like they're trash. I mean like they're high caliber trash. You know, like Domestic Girlfriend. You know, it's like, this is bad. I would not really recommend this.
On Netflix, like
that's one as well.
Loved it.
Let's say trash. Let's just say casual watch.
There we go. Fine.
Let's call it casual watch, because I think if we say trash, we think about hard shit that like doodle dumpster juice shit.
That's very fair. Not good on you to call me out on that. That's fine. So yeah, we're gonna get a lot of shows that are just casual, that are just for like a casual watcher. Hey, watch this for a bit and then never think about it again. But then we're gonna get some really deep shows with like really intense meanings that have deep stories, deep lores. Like Odd Taxis will pop out, like we've seen in the past few years. Monsters have come out like that are like, wow, that was incredible. And I think that will continue to happen, like especially with more people pumping money into it. That's more manga that never had a shot at the table because it's kind of risky to corporate boards. They're like, yo, we need something to put in front of these people. Let's give this person a shot. Boom. Next hit.
I don't love capitalism, but we just have to prove we adult anime watchers, adult fans of animation, we're here and we're hungry for it. We are ready. Give us another Arcane. Give us another Castlevania.
Oh my God. Yes.
Like that kind of quality caliber. Because no one's looking at those and saying, oh, yes, those are for kids and parents must just endure it. Like, no.
Well, no one who hasn't watched it.
Your kids watch Arcane might be okay, but Castlevania, no. Show the demand. Because, yes, we're going to get more of the crappy stuff, but only by building our numbers can we prove, hey, we're a market. So you see that artist right there with an amazing, brilliant piece of work? Hire them. Pay them. Sponsor them. Give them money so we can give you money.
Basically. And like I've told all these streaming platforms, do remember you are competing with free. Always.
And with that being said, I do have to say this. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are feeling overwhelmed with this saturated world of anime, definitely tune into Black Ramen Podcast. We're gonna tell you what to watch each season and every season and what you should look forward to. And what and you know what? We made mistakes. Let me stop. I made mistakes. There's a couple I like this season starting off that looks promising, and then when I come back to do an anime season check-in, it's nothing that I pronounce, nothing. But I'm able to save you and let you know, hey, midway in, put it down.
Drop this as well. Hey, if you ain't pick it up yet, do not pick it up.
Don't even think about it.
Hey, Patty, you're right. Like it's I've made mistakes. I'm sure I've said one or two, and I'm like, actually, kind of sucks. Do not watch this anymore, huh?
I don't remember none of that. You?
Don't forget how much we all loved King's Ranking at first,
and I still kind of do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
the thing is, King's Rank, just like we said for Death Note, the first 20-something episodes. Incredible. Last few, like, yeah. That's the same thing with King's Ranking. First 20 episodes, incredible. Last 2 or 3 is like, oh no.
We'll still check out season 2 to make sure.
Exactly.
I still have a little bit of hope in my heart.
But
there's enough side stuff going on that it should still be good.
Right, but we've spoken about that. I think. Are there any final comments before we play that ending credit?
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to DreamCon, please look us up. We're definitely going to be there. We got press passes. Not to mention, ladies and gentlemen, if you have anything that you want us to review or look at, definitely email us. And we'll do a category on the show of great content creators or great writers and great mangakas or great storytellers that we like on our new segment. So just send it to us on an email, or you can send it to us on our P.O. box. I'll put that in the bottom of the screen here. Or Derby will, because I'm not editing shit.
We don't really edit shit. We don't have
definitely write us, Ask Black Ramen. Make sure you put in the subject title Ask Black Ramen, because I spam a lot of stuff. Sorry. And not to mention, we have merch. If you go to our link tree, you can definitely get a beautiful logo. The one that's the one that's right next to me right here. You can get a beautiful shirt with our logo on it, and it has a QR code right in the cup. So when you have it, you can say, "Hey, you listen to Black Ramen?" Then they'll be like, "No, well, scan this, baby," and then it'll be amazing. There goes
your pickup line right there. Boom.
There it is. And you could tell them that Chatty Patty told you. And with that being
sexual chocolate, it's gonna be a better opening line.
Probably. I'm not gonna argue with that. That sounds great. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening to Black Ramen Podcast. Chatty Patty, Sleepy Breeze, Sexual Chocolate. We are out.
Bye.